we actually did sell this event out. Did you pay a lot of money to come here?
Our next speaker is Jessica Hare from North Royalton. She's a mother fighting for the future of her medically fragile 13-year-old son. His health, education, and ability to live at home with his family all depend on programs like the Medicaid Waiver and protections of the Department of Education. News today, breaking news about the Department of Education. While lawmakers, including Senator Moreno, claim Medicaid will be protected, the new continuing resolution mandates $880 billion in spending cuts over the next decade, which is only possible by making drastic cuts to Medicaid. These changes threaten access to essential medical care and home health services to the more than 3 million Ohio residents who currently utilize Medicaid. The Department of Education is also being gutted. Under President Trump, staffing has been slashed in half, disproportionately affecting the Office for Civil Rights, which is responsible for investigating discrimination against students with disabilities. The Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, along with Section 504, both ensure students with disabilities receive equal access to education and are now at risk because the attorneys responsible for enforcing these laws have been fired. Yet, Senator Moreno has openly praised these cuts, stating, "What Elon Musk is doing, God bless him." In reference to the baseless claims that DOGE is rooting out waste and fraud in the government. Moreno claims these cuts will improve educational outcomes, but in reality, they are stripping away the very resources that children like Jessica's son rely on to learn and thrive. To share what these cuts mean for families across our state, please welcome Jessica.
So this is my first time doing this, so I should have more leeway, but I'm very nervous. I apologize. I will get emotional. My son Declan was born not moving and gray. I'm so sorry. There were no warning signs, and for a long time there were no answers. Declan had to have a number of medical interventions early on. He got a trach, a ventilator, and a G-tube. In order for him to survive and thrive, he would essentially live on life support. We learned at 7 months old that Declan had an ultra-rare orphan disease called MTM. We were told to enjoy our time with him as he lay playing on the doctor's table because he wouldn't make it past a year. Most kids with MTM don't make it past 2. Tell you a little bit about me. I can stop. I can calm down. I was born and raised in Canton, Ohio. I've lived in various cities across this. Okay, are you bringing tissues? Oh, water. Thank you. I'm never prepared. Thank you. I've lived in various cities across Ohio, from Cincinnati to Cleveland. I attended Miami University, where I earned 2 degrees, and met my husband. Apologize for my language. We've both been active contributors to this state for 2 decades. When we decided to start a family, we did so with no idea the path our lives would take. When you plan to have a family, when you're pregnant, the thing to say, the thing everybody says is, as long as they're healthy. No one ever dares to consider or even address what if they're not. Oh, sorry.
You're good.
As Ken mentioned, Declan just turned 13. He's in 7th grade. He loves YouTube. He loves animals. He loves making hybrid animals. He thinks every animal should go together somehow. He loves jump scares, especially jump scaring mom. He can tell you what every dinosaur name means in Latin or Greek or Chinese. He's ornery and brilliant and brave. He's faced more trauma and obstacles in his life than most people will ever know. He's alive. He's amazing. And he deserves everything any other child does. But it's not that simple. Declan's physical needs require 24/7 awake care. As parents, as a family unit, it's nearly impossible to do alone. As a medical parent, the most common thing we hear, which we all love, is, "I don't know how you do it." Our standard answer, "He's our son." I mean, we love him, and I would hope that if he were your son, you would do it too. But one other very important factor, and this is how I should have been answering this question for years, is that we do so because we're lucky enough to have had Declan during a time where there's a system of supports and regulations that exist for kids like him. Because Medicaid Waiver, Declan can live at home with his family where he belongs, rather than in an institution. Before waivers, kids like mine went to facilities. A key to waiver is that it covers nursing services, so that parents have support, they have the support to work, sleep, and at least attempt to function while their child is safe. Because the ACA banned lifetime maxes, my husband and I have not gone bankrupt having a multi-million-dollar kid. Because of the ADA, Declan has access to places even though he uses a wheelchair. Because of IDEA, I'm so pissed about this Department of Education. Because of IDEA and FAPE and IEPs, he's able to attend school, learn with his peers, and make friends. Because of the concepts of diversity, equity, and inclusion, Declan isn't just able to be somewhere, but people figure out ways to actually include him. I'm gonna take a drink, sorry. I need practice.
There's no practice for this.
You don't do good.
So honestly, that is how we've done it. That is the only way it can be done. And even with all of these programs in place, many things have still been a battle, one that we continually, happily fight to ensure Declan has what he needs. As a medical parent, you never know what the future will hold, but you have hope, and you have programs and the law on your side, at least for now. With the upcoming cuts to Medicaid, threat to Section 504, and the dismantling of the Department of Education, Declan's future is more uncertain than ever. Last week, he brought home his certificate for being on the honor roll at school this past quarter. And while my first reactions were joy and pride, just below the surface was the fear and the sadness and the anger. With the new Secretary of Education who doesn't even know what IDEA is, with teachers being instructed to remove signs from their classroom that say, "All are welcome," with an Ohio senator talking about how expensive it is to educate kids like mine compared to typical kids who come from loving homes, as if we don't love our child. With the overall attack on diversity, equity, and inclusion, concepts that pretty much sum up Declan's existence, it seems that the coming policies and mandates will be that my child and my family stay in the shadows where we belong and eventually falter. I wanted to speak today, as much as I can speak, I apologize again, because most people don't know families like mine exist. I certainly didn't before this became my life. And our families don't really have a voice, because once you're in this life, you spend most of your time keeping your kids alive, fighting insurance companies, going to doctor's visits and therapies, going to IEP meetings, hopefully working, sometimes sleeping, trying to give your child the best life he can have. After that, most of us are too exhausted to keep an eye on politics. But our entire lives are shaped by politics. Policies are what enable us to keep going. And we are paying attention. We are part of our communities, we are part of our state, we are part of our country. The system to support our families were put in place for a reason, and we deserve a voice, and our kids deserve a chance. And I hope that when others are fighting for minority groups, they remember families like mine. I would like to know what Bernie expects families to do when these supports are taken away, and we no longer are able to work, be productive members of society, keep our homes, when our children are no longer able to access care, get medical supplies, or attend school. We are your constituents. We are human beings. We are those whose children weren't born healthy, and we kept on going. Oh, that's